Resting in Jesus. That's what we're talking about. So today I have another good news for you. You can rest in Jesus because God condemned sin in our flesh. And I get this from Romans 8. For what the law could not do, and that it was weak through the flesh, God sending his own Son in the likeness of sinful flesh, and for sin, condemned sin in the flesh. Now that is good news. That is good news. Romans 8:1 says, there is therefore now no condemnation to them which are in Christ Jesus. This means even though we do have this struggle in our flesh, which is sin, we are not condemned for it anymore because of Jesus. Jesus did not just die for your sin, he also condemned sin in your flesh. This battle that you're having every day with this sin in your flesh, this tendency to sin, was condemned by God. This means God does not see it anymore. It is non-existent in God's eyes, which means even though we do have this sin in our flesh, and when it rises up, and it does daily, right? We must feel at peace with God because this sin has been deprived of its power to condemn us because God condemned it. Isn't that good news? Because as long as we are in this corruptible body, we will have this sin in our flesh. But because God condemned it, it no longer has any power to condemn us before God. It means God has deprived it of its power to separate you from him and his blessings. So when this sin rises up in your flesh, stay at peace. It has no more power to deprive you of your communion with God or to rob you of your standing before God. It has no more power to condemn you before God or to cut you off from his blessings. Now, isn't that good news? So rest in this. Rest in this, child of God. God says in his word, he will remember our sin no more. Now, why does he say that? Because it's still there. When we got saved, only our spirit was redeemed 100%. Our soul and our body will not be redeemed till later. And that is why we still have this struggle. But God has chosen to not see it anymore because of what his Son has done. So instead of calling it sin, just call it struggles and weaknesses. And God gives us answers of what to do with those. But we'll save that for another time. God bless you and have a marvelous Lord's Day.